Hi, my name is Cindy Rang.
I'm Brandon Motzkus, and today is FabriChat.
Good morning. Hi. All right, well, let's see. Gosh, it always seems like it's so long. A week is so long,
right?
To sit with friends. I think we mentioned this in the box opening, but I was really glad that so many people said that it didn't matter. We could talk for as long as we wanted. The pressure is off. I feel like I'm not entirely sure that that's true during box opening, though. I think for the people that are at box opening, I think that it's a different crowd.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they want to see what's going on, what's up. Yeah, and if we want to tell them a story. Yeah. But for the rest of you, and I don't even know that any of you guys are new. You know, normally we have to say if you're new to us, this is who we are. You know. If you know, you know. We're here having coffee. Coffee with friends.
Yeah.
You're having tea. And now tell me.
I've got a scratchy throat, guys. I'm popping lozenges.
I'm very upset. I think I'm going to be the last man standing here.
I don't know. I don't even know how. I mean, I know how I got it. I work with a lot of gross people, but no. But I don't know. So we'll see. I have been taking like vitamin C since you left and Tracy was sick. I know, right? Don't me. So I've been taking stuff. So hopefully it's just, I don't know, maybe I snored a lot last night. I don't know.
I don't know. There is some sort of a nasty virus going around. And poor Tracy, I think she's going on. Tracy, what are you doing? You're going on 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
3 weeks.
6 months? How long have you been?
Feels like 6 months.
She's been spending, this is probably TMI, but we're among friends, right? I'm going to tell them. She spent so much time in bed that she needs new pajama bottoms.
Don't leave it at that.
Don't leave it at that. Okay, there's more to the story. Come talk with them. Come talk with them. Let's scooch over. You guys have it.
Right.
They've been missing you. Scooch on here.
Well, they're old PJs for one.
They were already needed to be
I have
renewed.
2 pair of PJs, so these ones I've worn a lot, and apparently I twist around a lot because they're ripped from the top of my elastic right down to the middle. But my other ones were dirty, so I wore them anyway.
Right? I wore them
Nobody
anyway.
saw me.
Nobody. Just a little air conditioning. We've talked
bad.
about this for a while because she had washed some flannel and wanted to know how do you make pajama bottoms. And I said, well, what you do is you pre-wash your flannel 2 or 3 times and then bring that pair and that becomes your pattern. She goes, you're not going to see those pajama bottoms.
No.
It's like, I wouldn't judge you. I have the same pair. We all have the same pair, right?
I've never had a pair like this in my life before, so
But they're so comfy.
Oh yeah.
I told her I thought we needed to go to the local Goodwill to find it.
Said, no, that's
Get them really broken.
That's like buying somebody else's underwear.
Yeah, it's kind of
No, I guess I'll have to break down and make some or patch them even. So
patch
Sew
that
that seam in there.
because then
I'll
you'd
do
be
my
late on a seam.
Jessica.
I can't even see on the seam on socks. Can you imagine the seam on that shouldn't be there on pajama bottoms? Anyway, poor Tracy. Poor Tracy. I feel like every single one of us have that same pair.
You've never
I have
seen them like this.
No, okay, I'm gonna bring you my parent. I'm not gonna show you guys, but I'm gonna let you see. No, I think we all have that same pair of pajama bottoms.
And a shirt. My favorite shirt is
And
my
a shirt.
bum shirt.
Yes.
Oh, God, it's so comfy. There's holes everywhere in the hands off.
and you wait for it to get out of the dryer.
Yeah, it's my
I
favorite
know. We all have those. Our husbands love them.
shirt. Jesus, no. No.
All right. Well, anyway.
So when you break into our house for our most embarrassing, go for the pajama drawer. Don't go for the closet. Don't go for this is a pajama drawer.
Yes.
Where you can really know about somebody's stuff through their pajamas.
Yes, we all have that same pair.
Yeah.
No one sleeps in those new ones.
Yeah.
I mean, when you
Even
buy
like
the
your
new
favorite
ones.
robe. I remember her robe had little tears here.
It
and the pocket no
does.
more, and it's like, oh, but it's so comfy. It fits me perfectly.
It does.
Yeah.
I know. All right. Well, anyway.
So we're hoping this is the last week for Tracy, and then she's gonna feel
People
ready
have
for
been
spring.
sending you so many,
else gets it.
and all of the notes on the orders. She sees all those. It is really nice. She's, we worry about her. We make her work hard anyway, but we still secretly openly, we want her to be better.
Pictures of mountains of orders.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we torture her. Yes.
Love it.
All right. So what we wanted to talk about today, a little bit different. We're going to kind of do a book talk. And here's the reason why we're going to do that. I kind of feel like good Lord.
It's your dog.
Sorry.
I don't know why she needs to be so close.
Oh,
She's sweet.
she's stinky.
She's rallying with that baby already this morning.
Stinky. So I kind of feel like I have to redeem myself just a little bit. So, and I counted up. I read 54 books last year.
Oh, I haven't even looked.
I know that's good. Yeah, and it's average is one a week, but sometimes it's more than that. A lot of it depends.
Yeah.
But vacation and working and audiobooks versus regular ones. But and I like to recommend, and a lot of people recommend to me. Jennifer Robinson.
She reads a lot too.
She reads a lot. She also likes historical fiction, and so the ones that she recommended one of these in the stack that's my top 5.
Book Thief.
I know these are my top faves. But anyway, so a lot of us, like Joan Perla, who recommends movies, she's spot on. And so I think that's a lot of it is that you kind of have to know who would give you good advice, and, if she says read it, then I would read it and that kind of thing. So, so this is the reason for this, is that I feel super bad about the September House. I feel super, super bad. I feel like I spoke too soon because it was kind of a funny thing because there are 2 types of books that I read all the time. I like historical fiction. I love historical fiction. It's probably my favorite. But if I just want kind of a fast-paced, I'm cleaning, I'm sewing, and I just kind of want, whatever. I like suspense. And the suspense has to be very specific. I don't want any horror. I don't want any, slash them up, any of that kind of stuff. No animals can be harmed. No children can be harmed. And not a whole lot of, shades of gray. 50 Shades of Grey.
No spicy
Not
things.
a whole lot of that.
Not even 2 shades of gray.
Not even 2 shades. I'm not into, no.
Yeah.
No.
She's been very long enough to have enough spice.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Go in the room, come out, we got it, done.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, romantic evening. I know what you mean. Leave it at that. The rest of it, I just don't need to know those things. And it is kind of funny because when I was younger, I don't know that there was a Danielle Steele novel that I did not read.
Oh, see, I'm not a fan of her movie.
Well,
Victoria
Holt and Danielle Steele. Oh, I think it's just, because
I've
when
tried
you're feeling romantic
to read or listen
I don't think
to 2 different ones.
Oh yeah, they're not good.
But I don't think I made it like an hour. I don't know if it was the narrator. The narrator that I didn't like, because I've been that before. Like, I cannot stand your voice. I'm sorry.
Have done this.
I want to read this, but I can't.
I don't like.
So I don't know if it was the narrator or the story just didn't get there fast enough.
Yeah. Danielle Steele. They're all the same.
They're all the same. Yeah.
And the other thing that was funny, and I feel like I have to admit this, is that I used to read all the time Dean Koontz and Stephen King.
I like Dean Koontz. Stephen King. I tried. I failed. Gave up real fast.
Stephen King, man, he's a whole lot of crazy.
That's sketchy.
He's a whole lot of crazy because I think a book that still to this day I think about, and not in a good way, is Pet Sematary.
You bring it up all the time.
I do. Pet Sematary was a horrifying, stuck with me far too long. I mean, if you haven't read it, don't read it. It is damaging.
And memorable and not a good
damaging. So bad. And then I think the last one that I tried reading of his was that Gerald's Game. Do you know that book? And I didn't finish it. Okay, so I'm not suggesting you read it, but here's what it's about. I'm not going to spoil anything because I don't know how it ends. But what it's about is Gerald, and I can't remember his wife's name, but they want to spice up their marriage a little bit.
Okay, that's a movie though.
What's the movie?
Gerald's Game. Isn't that a movie?
Is it a movie?
Don't
watch it. Well, I'm going to tell you what happens, and you tell me if it happens.
I don't know.
So what happens is they go into the woods and they rent this house in the woods, totally isolated, and they're gonna, a couple shades of gray are gonna happen, and he handcuffs her to the bed.
Oh.
Then dies of a heart attack.
Oh, it's a movie.
It's a movie?
Legit. Mm-hmm. It's a movie.
Wow.
Maybe Netflix.
There is a trailer.
There is a trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know. Well, all I know that happened when I stopped reading it was that she woke up.
Yes.
Harley,
it's a good.
Gino or whatever.
I remember watching it, but I mean, it's been a while since I watched it, so I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure what happened. Okay, maybe I'll have to watch the movie.
I think so.
But again, a movie,
It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she's laying in this bed. Her husband's dead. No one knows where they are.
Yeah.
No phone. She's naked. And then when I stopped reading it, was that she had fallen asleep and then she woke up and it was dark and she could hear a noise, something, you know how a noise wakes you up? And it was the sound of the screen door. Banging, because the door wasn't closed. And then there's just enough moonlight coming in to show the beady little eyes of some animal that's dragging off her dead husband. Creepy.
Oh,
I'm out.
God.
I'm out.
I'm out. So I don't know how it ended. But anyway, that was the last Stephen King.
Screenwrites, I always know, are not always as detailed, or they will kind of leave out the things that are hard to theatricalize, but I don't know. But
so what Stephen King? I can't remember, because when you came in, you said you were going to read Stephen King. I said, oh.
So that's what she said. Are you sure about that? Because I am not a scary movie.
I have my news.
It's
Gian.
Yes. Did you notice her necklace? So this was Tracy's
birthday present.
Thank you, Gian.
Yes.
This
stone pyrite. Painite.
Painite. P-E-H-N-I-T-E.
Yeah.
Anyway, it does say that it keeps nightmares.
It's a dream stone.
Yeah. So I know, right?
So which one was it?
Dreamcatcher. It's supposed to be either a movie that's out or coming out. I don't know. So I'll try it, you know. But I'm not a horror girl at all. Scary movie. I can do some suspense. Like I'm M. Night Shyamalan all day long.
Right, but he is suspenseful with weird little twisty.
That are
not
explainable.
Slasher.
Yeah.
And Stephen King is all kinds of slasher, gross.
Yeah.
Visceral.
So it was like supposed to be like a 30-hour read. I don't remember. I lasted about hour and a half. Gone.
You know, life is too short, and there are too many books to waste it on something that
is going to terrify you.
That's right. And there have been some that I've stuck with because, like, nope, I'm gonna see this through because I want to know how it ends. Which brings us back to
September House. That's the only reason I finished the last 25 minutes, 35 minutes. Nope.
So bad. So the funny thing about that is that I just feel like I have to redeem myself. And I don't remember at what FabriChat or whatever that I was talking, and I was saying that it was just such a... Oh, I know what I was talking about. Is that there's two different book talkers that I listened to, and one hated it. And they had done it as their Book of the Month Club. And one loved it and had done it as their Book of the Month Club. And I thought, I like you both.
My question was when I finished it and thought, well, okay, I know what side of the book club I'm on. I was wondering age groups.
Oh... You know, I don't even know that.
Because I totally know my mom thought it was funny.
Yeah. I thought it was funny because I totally related to...
The empty nester and 30, middle-aged kids. I mean, her daughter was 32?
Yeah.
30.
And I'll give you a little premise if you don't know what it's about. So, and I won't spoil anything, but it's about this house that this couple, they buy, and the house is haunted. Mm-hmm. And in September is when all hell breaks loose.
All the crazy stuff.
And all of the stuff. And so it's all of these ghosts. And so this woman who lives there, who's my age, maybe a little older, and pretty sensible, and it's just kind of funny because she's just like, oh no, it's her again. And she's just like such a dry sense of humor. And she was so funny. I mean,
the narrator was so great.
Narrator was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I laughed out loud
I could
with this book. And even when the priest came to...
That was funny. Flick.
And then something else would happen. Flick. And I cracked up. I thought, this book is hilarious. And so there was nothing about it that I thought was going to be gory or scary.
Yeah, it was.
Did you finish it? Did you finish it?
I didn't.
No.
September House?
Yeah,
September.
No, don't. It's fine. Don't start it.
I feel kind of... Well, I mean, it was really funny.
But like the last 45 minutes...
45 minutes.
It's rough.
Last 2 chapters are really, really bad. But, well, and the other funny thing is I really liked the woman. The daughter I thought was just mean. I thought she was just an adult daughter that was super disrespectful to her mom, and I didn't particularly care for her at all. And that, I have to say, is the other thing. I'll stop reading a book if I don't like the characters. If I don't care what happens to you, I'm out.
Yep.
You know, or you're exactly right. If I'm listening to a book on tape and I don't like the narrator, because it's because when you're listening to a book on tape, it's a performance, right? Yeah. So it's just like, I'm going to turn a movie off if I don't like the movie. I'm not going to waste my time on that.
Right.
And so if you don't like the performance and what's going on, I'll turn that off. And so it almost, and then it started to get really bad. And I'm just going to tell you the last 2 chapters of the book, fairly gory. Fairly gory. But I wanted to know, because
what is happening.
Yeah, I had a whole different ending of the book of what I thought was going to happen. So, anyway. And the only redeeming thing about the book club that loved it, what I'm going to say is I have never, ever, ever read a book like that.
That is true.
That you were...
not on my list.
All over the place.
Yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster.
Very emotional roller coaster. And just a whole different idea about the way that, that you would tell a story. But anyway, so I just wanted to redeem myself. For those of you guys that thought, that sounds like a good book, I'll read it. And I have gotten a copy. What? Yeah.
Because I would totally have shut it off. I was like, what's funny? I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah,
and I got to the end, I was like, Mom, no.
It was rough.
But I definitely know why because of the age of the character, the kids, and the whole, be sensible.
I could totally relate to her.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, there's one ghost that bites her. It's like, dang it,
And it's a cute little kid she's trying to be nice to. Mom would be bit by the same guy.
I would.
Oh, dang it. Sorry.
Anyways, so that's what made us think. So there's been so many questions, comments about September House, and questions, and people, giving me better things to read that I just wanted to redeem myself a little bit. And so we thought we would share, a couple of things. So I've already told you, so I do love historical fiction. I like suspense. And I think the reason I like suspense is, again, I just find it entertaining, just like, Dateline, I mean, sometimes you kind of know the story, but you want all of the facts, all of the details, and, then all of a sudden to see how it ends. And there's a couple of writers that I really like. I like Lisa Jewell. I like her a lot. I love, what the heck is her name? Alice Feeney. Alice Feeney. I love Alice Feeney, and it's kind of funny because I have recommended a couple of her books. Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Oh, it's on my to-watch list.
TBR. Rock, Paper, Scissors. She has an interesting...
Jeez. Harper almost gave Tracy a poor heart attack.
Harper came and scared us.
Hold on, baby. We're filming. Is it an emergency?
Uh-oh.
Macy has something right here. It looks like it's bleeding.
Oh.
So Alice Feeney, I really, really like her. I think every book that she's written that I've read, I have given 5 stars to. Rock, Paper, Scissors is really, really good. I can't think of other titles at the... but what happens with her that I think is really interesting is that she'll have a twist... and then another twist, and then just when you think, okay, then she'll twist again. But every single one of her books, at the very end, the very last sentence, she leaves you with, what? And then all you can do is just kind of sit there, because you can kind of almost come up with your own ending. And so, and she's done that with several of them, that you don't really know what happened, at the end. And what was funny about this one was that I had bought this book and I took it on vacation with me, and then didn't have a chance to read it, but I also had it in audiobook form, so I was listening to it and my headphones died. Oh. And so then I thought, well, wait a minute. You can't stop there, because I was nearly done with it. So I went and found it. So this one, I stayed up until 3 a.m. to finish it, because I thought, no, now I really, really need to know. But anyway, Alice Feeney is, if you like suspense without, the gore, without all of the sex scenes kind of stuff. I really like her. I like her. I like Karen Slaughter. I like, who else? Lisa Jewell, I think I already said that. And I don't know why I think I do like women authors better, but only because I really I identify with women characters.
Right.
And I can always tell, can't remember the name of the book, but there was a book that I read and I thought, well, why are you describing her that way? And I think it was a book that I didn't finish, and then I realized afterwards that whatever the author's name was, Robin or whatever, that it wasn't a woman, it was a man. And I thought, I think that matters, that we understand what's important and how to describe a strong female lead. And I'm not sure that every man is able to do that. But who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite author?
I don't know if I do.
You kind of read them all? Because what is your favorite thing to read right now?
What is my favorite
in
thing?
your 32-year-old self?
I am definitely more fiction. I really like historical fiction. But then I always get stuck in a rabbit hole of doing weird research at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's a true statement right there.
So I do like that because I've read, I think, 3 historical fictions since I've started Libby. But I do a lot of fantasy and fiction, and I don't like the spicy scenes really. Yeah. It's not why I choose a book.
So fantasy, you like a little bit of like magic
stuff in there, yeah, princess stuff,
Oh,
I know. So all of that, but most of it I just read for entertainment, or because I'm doing dishes, or I'm doing quilting or whatever. The hard thing with me is I do like suspense, but I realize I get stuck.
You stop.
I stop.
I do too. You're cleaning, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, what?
And then Robert comes and is like, what are you doing? Nothing. Go away!
I do that exact same thing. I didn't realize once I was cleaning. And I don't know if I think I was dusting was what I was doing, spraying and then dusting, spraying and then dusting. And then Brian had come in and I didn't hear him. And apparently he was watching me, because same thing, I'm like, stopping.
What are you looking at?
And then
I know! It's so bad. And I also feel like some of the fantasy ones, if I get too involved with what I'm working on, I don't have to go back. Like, I can filter what I may have missed.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Make it up.
Yeah. Where I think with suspense,
you better know who that was.
I can re-listen to a chapter like 4 times. And then I really am just sitting there listening because I'm not going to miss it again. I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
So that's sometimes my my downfall there. But I don't know if I really have a favorite yet. I feel like I read a lot in high school. Like in high school I read a lot, but some of it was, required reading, and wasn't a fan of required reading. There are way better books out there.
Or Frank Peretti, is that the name? He was an author I remember you used to read a lot.
I had to read him for college. We read him a lot. And I feel like some of those books would have way better audio for me, because they're not always... There's lots of drag spots in those. But I liked him. And then since college, and I haven't read a whole lot. I feel like life... I used to read a lot before kids, and now with kids,
Yeah.
They're going to run off with my book.
that changes. I think that's true.
So now I'm trying to relearn in my, 31 years of life what I like to listen to, or who the authors are. Because right now I have things all over the board from, I don't know, I wrote down some, like the one I'm waiting for. I'm first in line and they think it's going to be a week, so I'm not listening to anything, is that Deluge one.
Yeah.
And that one is from Stephen Markley. It's a huge, it's like a 40-hour book, so it must be like 3 parts that they put all into one, but it's about a 21st century kind of apocalypse, how it would work here. But it's not necessarily, I know there's a few of them out there that are more like electronics, like if internet were to go down. This one's a little more about land and that kind of thing. So I'm intrigued. I don't know.
I might read that after you read that, because that brings me to, so Laurie Gilmartin, also known as Parker, if you guys watched the Bali cruise stuff, the Pretty Redhead, she also, great big reader, does a lot of audiobook, travels a lot, drives a lot. She's a research nurse, and she said that her number one most life-changing book that she had ever read was called 1 Second After. And so I thought, well, I totally trust Lori, 100%. She says she said it really makes you think. She said she still thinks about it to this day. So it is a 3-part, there's 3 different books. It's 1 second after was the first one, and the next one was like 1 day later, or 1 day before, or something like that. And what's the other one? 1 year later, or something. I could not pick up the other 2. It was so upsetting. And it's kind of that same sort of thing. It was, and the foreword, and what it's about is and it's kind of funny because they're talking about it right now because Russia wants to put a nuclear weapon up in space. And it's like, well, why would he do that? Why would he take out our satellites? Read this book, and it's this whole thing that it really could happen, that if they set up this nuclear bomb over the United States, every single thing that's electronic goes down. Electromagnetic pulse? No.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's a thing. The foreword in this book was written by somebody in the Defense Department. I mean, a real person who said,
it could happen.
It could happen. This is a scary thing. And it was true. All 3,000 planes in the air came down. Every car stopped working. All of the banking, everything. And so, and there was no communication at all. So it was really, you were isolated to what resources you had in your community. And maybe you had, a pig farm or a dairy. Maybe you didn't. If you were in the city and you didn't have gardens and ways for food, you were leaving the city and going to already an overtaxed community. I mean, you didn't have food for pets, and anyway, it was a pretty electromagnetic pulse.
EMP.
Yeah, EMP.
EMP. It is a real thing, and so anyway, we've talked before about whether or not I would survive the apocalypse, and she wouldn't. I wouldn't.
She'd luckily be someone to protect
I have some skills, but yeah. So that deluge, I keep saying, oh yeah, maybe I want to read that, but I don't know if I sort of like Oblivion just a little bit, but anyway, 1 second after, if you like that kind of book, it is a book that you think about and think about and think about and think about it.
Yeah.
So what would cause you to not finish a book?
For some of the ones I haven't finished, either Stephen King. Nope. Done. Fine. I wasn't sure I'd be brave enough.
Potential.
I wasn't sure I'd be brave enough to read it anyways, but I was like, maybe things have changed. Narrator. If I, whatever the voice is or whatever, I will turn it down. Because again, same as you, it is a performance in my head, and it's entertainment. I have to, and I'm guessing this voice is going to be at least the whole way, or at least 3/4. He's either half the characters or the whole character. So voice, and sometimes if it doesn't start. I'm someone who, I'm not going to go through...
I want to be fully vested.
Yeah, and within like a chapter, 2, maybe 3 chapters, there has to be a reason I have to have a connection at some point. If we're just wandering the streets trying to figure out my life, I'm over that. We need to figure out, I like the whole... And I'm okay with a 9-hour listen book or a 16. It doesn't matter to me. I've even done a quick little 5-hour one, and they're fine, but I like it to get there. Get me hooked in a whole lot. And I think a lot of writers now know that.
They get you right in.
It's pretty obvious when you're going to do that. And that's kind of the most of it. Even when my favorite character or whatever dies, I will still usually pick up the second book and just see. But those are kind of the main. Narrator, or I haven't got hooked.
Yeah.
But I haven't got anything else worse than that of why I stopped reading.
The narrator thing, what's kind of funny is that Alice Feeney is one of the ones that I listen to a lot, that they are an English writer. They're from the UK. So their narrators have that accent. And so they talk about chips and crisps and what's their money? Pounds and... and so it's kind of fun because it truly is a performance, and so when they're talking about all of that, it all kind of fits, and I find that I really, really like that, because it is
now that you read a lot of Alice and Feeney, because I have all over the board of authors that I'm reading. Do they use the same narrators?
They do. And I don't know that all of them do, but I have to tell you that I didn't like that. I can't remember which book it was now that I had read a book that, and the person, the voice, it was a horrible, I think it was a Karen Slaughter one, and a horrible person, and
bad guy.
didn't like this person at all. And then the very next book of hers, it's like, wait a minute, I know that voice.
And you already
I already don't like you. And it took a little bit, and so I kind of stopped listening to it a little bit, and I had to kind of, cleanse my ears a little bit, but they do. And Alice Feeney, I swear it's all the same person. I don't know their names, I should look that up, but it is a performance, and I think I'm going to say that there are some books that I think are better audio than reading, just because when there's something that is, and especially I think the English ones, and different things where there's a different pronunciation or just a different take on it. So
I felt the same way with The Wager that I read, which is historical fiction by David Gran. I felt like I probably wouldn't have been able to read that. Pages. It was good. I think for one, words. I think some of the older words for the shipping and the ships and how the ships were made and all of that, I think I probably would have stumbled on. And I think it might have been dry.
Maybe,
how I was reading
I think
it. It is a story, but he had so much context from actual journals and diaries and letters home and everything that it could have been not as easy to read. Because obviously, because Marjorie's actually reading right now, but she's reading it in book form. So it made me wonder.
And what is
something
The
like
Wager
that.
about?
The Wager's about a shipwreck on Wager Island, which is South America. I really liked it, and that was where I got down this huge research thing, and it was it was really cool, and I enjoyed it. I liked the whole shipwreck. I liked the whole exploration and how all that started, and I think it was cool. And at the very end of it, David, he did a what's the beginning? Not a prologue.
Epilogue.
Epilogue. He did an epilogue, and at the end, he did a whole little synopsis. He actually traveled to Wager Island, this remote, crazy, he had to fly and ship and sail, because it's an uninhabited, really, an island. It's really dangerous where it is, because it's right at the Cape of South America. So it was really cool, and that
makes you wonder, from an author's standpoint, what makes them decide that that's what they want to write about.
Yeah, and what they want to research about. And he kind of wrote about he wanted to, because there was evidently other writings of The Wager. And some are more fiction, some are historical fiction. And so I think it was just something probably he was super excited about and wanted to, write it in his own way. But that was when I wondered that if I would have actually read it or kept with it.
Right.
Kept with it.
There was a book that I read. It took me forever to read. I can't even tell you the name of it, but it was almost, maybe not the same thing, but it was exploration, and they were looking for, I think, Inside Passage, and so they were up North America, and they got frozen in the ice, and they couldn't get out, and then they spent winter up there. And same thing, and there's just so much information that I did finally finish it. It was very good, but I think that with historical fiction, and even just historical nonfiction, either way, I think there's so much information that they put in there and so much research that they do.
Yeah.
I feel like I always learn stuff. Who's the author? Is it Karen Slaughter? There's one of them that you feel like you could... No, it's not. Who wrote The Perfect Marriage? Jenna, The Perfect Marriage.
Did I finish? I don't think
Did you finish that book? I don't know that I necessarily... Everybody loved that book. And Jenna Rose. I probably gave that about a 3-star. I didn't find it very believable. Geneva Rose. She's always writing books about... Did you finish it? It ended. The Beauty Shop.
Or was that the next one?
That was the next one.
Okay, no.
That was the next one. Geneva Rose wrote The Perfect Marriage, which is about a female attorney who defends her husband when her husband's mistress turns up dead in their bed. Right? I know. Yeah.
Can you do that? Is that ethical to...
Doesn't seem like it would be, but I don't know.
You never know.
It's not
state by state. Who knows?
I don't know. But anyway, so that one, and she gets that's like on everybody's everybody has given that 5-star. And I'm not saying it wasn't good. She's a very good writer. I like the way she writes, but I didn't like anybody in the book. I didn't like the people.
And I think that's hard. I think you've got to.
And I didn't. It's like I didn't like the characters. I didn't like the characters, and I kept thinking, "You're not going to do that. You're not going to say that. That isn't. How can you still lying? You know?"
Yeah.
And so I just didn't like the people, the characters in the book. So that would be the only reason. But then, what was the book that I told you to read about the beauty shop? That one I really, really liked.
Was it the same
Same author, Geneva Rose. Yeah, really good. But what was our point? What were we going to say about that? Oh, that it's always all of this legal stuff. It's like you feel like you could like pass the state bar when you're done.
It's like, I got this.
And she talks about all of this stuff in all of her books. It's like, okay, you're obviously a lawyer who now writes books. And the other thing about Geneva Rose is that she has I don't know if it's a TikTok or what, but she's hilarious. She is very dry. Her and her husband Scott, or Scott, I can't remember her husband's name, but anyway, they're kind of funny. But I like her. But anyway, so
one of us is dead.
One of us is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of us is dead. That's right. That's right. There was a couple times I almost put it down, but I really wanted to know.
I think I
wanted to know who was dead.
I started the next one, and one of the narrators had been in One of Us is Dead, and I just couldn't get past.
Yes.
Yeah. The voices.
That's right, the voices.
Narrators.
Maybe she's the one that, she uses the same narrators, and that will throw you off.
Yeah.
That's not the right voice, you know. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, one of us is dead.
Yeah. There's, I think, pros and cons for an audiobook. I think sometimes it goes faster. However, you know, you're going to take that. But also, I think the narrators make a big deal.
They do make it.
It really makes or breaks the book.
I think that's a reason, too, to kind of mix it up a little bit and sometimes do historical fiction and mix up your authors just a little bit, you know, so that you don't get, you know, a voice in your head so much. But, you know, but I feel like I've always got a whole bunch of books that are picked out and you don't really have any... all of a sudden, it's ready for you now. Oh, yay, I'll take it, you know.
Right.
But you don't always know. And then this was another funny question that somebody had asked, and I've never even thought about this before. Somebody asked, do you read more than one book at a time?
Sometimes.
Do you really?
It depends.
Do you, Tracy?
So...
Not
my
usually,
sometimes is because
it's like they become my life.
Right, yeah.
I hate it when it ends.
Yeah. You're so
attached.
invested.
I love
my sometimes is based on if I forget my book somewhere. So if I'm reading a book at home and then we, you know, whatever, are headed to the cabin, I left for vacation and dang it, I left it on the bed. Whatever might happen, I have to buy a new one. So I mean, yes, but I'm not like interchangeable. Like this is my, you know, every other day book or anything.
Oh yeah.
Because I really am like Tracy. I'm invested in these people and I will wait 3 days until I pick up this book or whatever. But definitely, audiobook wise, I have went between series, which I'm like between a series at the moment, and it's not easy for me. I feel like, but I have to wait for so long because I have to wait for other listeners to be done. But so sometimes, like right now, I'm not listening to anything because I don't want to go between.
Because you're waiting
for my which is in a couple days. So I'm gonna wait and finish that because I already have hogged the other 2 books. Like I'm not waiting for whatever you're listening to because evidently I have more car time than the person reading it with me. But so that's my
car
thing.
Time, cleaning time, and sewing time.
Yeah. Because I finally had the other one, and I had to reread the little like synopsis of the book to think, okay, got it. Because it's funny that
you forget.
Yeah, like what is happening?
Yeah.
So
that's right.
even between the series is sometimes, troublesome. But
and that's why I think when you think about your top book of all time, I think oftentimes they're so different from what I read day to day or whatever.
Yeah, definitely my favorite books are so different.
These are my favorites of all time. So my number one, it still is. It's
been number one for a long time.
Because
long
for
time.
me, I immediately reread it. And there's a couple books that I've wanted to do that. It's like, but this book, The Red Tent, it is one paragraph in the Bible, and it tells all of the things, everything, and it's just very. It's a little bloody, at parts. It's a little hard. There's some things that happen, but I really liked it. I think, it's not a pleasant story to read, of course, but I think just knowing what happened and you just feel, I don't know. It's one of those books that I continue to think about. And I'm about ready to read it again.
Very good. You know what's funny is I thought about going to my bookshelf and getting the book. My book that I've reread, I don't know how to, is The Thunder of Heaven.
Oh.
Gosh, I love that book. And it's just follows these people from the Amazon. Things happen and how God works in crazy ways and they're reconnected in another way. And they're helping, spread the word of God, and it's just really good. And a little bit of suspense and just how things happen the way they're supposed to happen, which is odd thinking of that now because my other top 2 book is The 5 People You Meet in Heaven.
God,
I love that book.
I love that by Mitch Albom.
But yeah,
I love that book.
Such a good book.
Such a good book.
And when did I first read that book?
Oh, long time ago.
Maybe preteen.
Oh yeah.
Because I went to the bookstore with Mom and we both picked a book and I had picked that and Mom was like, well, I wonder why you picked that book or whatever.
Yeah.
And it follows these 5 people that you're going to meet. And
who would be the 5 people that you want to meet in heaven?
And it was
that's right.
Super cool.
That's right.
That's a good one too.
That's right. That is a good one.
Yeah.
This one is fairly recent. I just read this, I think, in October. I think everybody has read this. You read it.
I haven't read it yet. I have to wait for it. I'm on the wait list.
So good. World War II. From occupied France it's there, so they weren't, she's not Jewish, the Nightingale and her family not Jewish, but in occupied France, and when the Germans came in and, anyway, super, super interesting.
Love that book.
Everybody's favorite book, right?
Have you guys all read this?
Yeah.
Any book lover would read this.
I think about the books that we had to read in high school, of Mice and Men, of Human Bondage, all of those. I think now, I hope that's all changed up.
Even when I was reading required literature, and I feel like I've read way better books.
Yeah.
Now, that would be way better for that. That age group.
Yeah.
There's way better coming of age stories than, all of those. I mean, I don't know, How to Kill a Mockingbird. Okay, I get why you kind of read that, but there's way better books than that one.
Because historically, that's really the whole point of view on To Kill a Mockingbird is very, very different, because this one is also on this list. I listened to this on audiobook and I wanted it so badly that I went ahead and ordered it in hard copy, mostly because I wanted to see pictures.
Yes.
This is a this is not this is historical nonfiction, and this is about slaves, a husband and wife that escape. And they escape up north. And so the wife is fairly fair-skinned because of who her father was. And so she's fairly fair-skinned. And so she was able to dress up like a white man. And then her husband was his slave. And so they made it. And so probably the first half of the book talks about how they did it. And what happened, you get right into it. I mean, within the first chapter, they're gone. And so, but they talk about all of that. But then the last half of the book is that whole, just before the Civil War, what was happening between the North and the South and all of the rallies and why the North got, involved with it. No, it is absolutely going to be illegal. And so it was pre-Civil War era. But I really wanted to see pictures. I wanted to see what did she looked like, dressed up like a man, and but anyway, it very, very good. And I think that this should be on required reading for kids, because I think that to truly understand from a black person's perspective, the whole point of view is different, and historically, and they keep referencing, and then this letter was written, and this was what the article was in the newspaper at that time. I mean, it's I'm sure this took forever to write. Very factual, which was really, really good.
And I don't know, maybe some of the literature has changed since, I've been out
English
of school.
lit requirements. Yeah, it would be good to know what they are now.
It makes you wonder, because I know there's so many books on the whole banned list thing, which is, some of them are crazy to me. They're on some of the banned books, like that's
on my goal, is to read every one of the banned books.
Yeah.
I'm going to read them all.
Yeah, because some of them, I feel like there's no reason for that.
Yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, I think there's some things that should be recalculated in there. But only because I think times have changed.
Right.
From, even 12 years ago, however long ago I was in school, things have changed. Our whole society has changed a little bit more. And so things need to change, I don't know.
Well, the voice, for talking to youth, it needs to be something that they would listen to, I think. And that's why the other one that is on my favorite books of 2023, number 1 was Nightingale, number 2 was I Will Always Write Back.
Oh, that was on my list too.
That was on your list
I think about it all the time.
Oh,
and I think
such a good book.
Yeah, and I think about it because I'm raising kids, and kids that are very fortunate. And doing the whole I Will Always Write Back, it's a very fortunate girl writing to an unfortunate man who needs to change a better life, and she is so determined to get him to the United States, to get to school, to do better for him.
To understand the differences in their culture.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what it's about, I feel like we've talked about it before, but it's pen pals. These 2 kids in 8th grade, this young girl from Pennsylvania writing to this young boy in Zimbabwe, and the differences with them, and it's just a beautiful story. Really written I would say easily written for a young adult. I bought a copy of it for Eliza. It's a short read, but really, really good. And I thought about it a lot too when we were in Indonesia and Malaysia.
Oh, sure.
That same idea that, what's different with American kids is that I don't want to say not protected. That sounds terrible, but the amount of information that's available to kids.
Right.
Or if you are not on it as a parent, and even if you are,
there's so much untruth.
Out there. And just the phone, what we can access on our phone at any given time, any video to see anything, any writings, the Wikipedia stuff that may or may not be accurate. And what we have access to, which is a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And then some of these other countries where they protect those kids. And I don't know if I feel like I've mentioned this before, but in Indonesia, that's all blocked.
Yeah.
We did not have access to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, none of that. It is not, I don't know what sort of dome they put over those islands, but I want to know because just the innocence, and I think also contentment, with your situation, and not understanding that
what you don't have. Right. And it's amazing how happy he was, and how happy
she was too, but not
in totally different ways.
Yeah,
she was happy because she got to go shopping and had a new pair of shoes and got to go hang out with her friends, and he was just happy that he had a job, and his dad came home with a paycheck, and all of these little things that you take for granted.
Yeah.
So I definitely think of it as a mom raising kids point of view, but
every kid needs to read I Will Always Write Back. I wish I could remember the name of the author. It's a funny name.
It's their names.
It's there's 2. It's the girl who has an interesting last name now, and the guy. Do you have it in your I Will Always Write Back?
Yeah.
You should put a picture of it on the screen.
Caitlin, something, and Martin Gonda.
Yeah. Very, very good. Very quick read. Nonfiction. Really, really good. Really good. All right. Well, and again,
really good books. I don't know.
Yeah. And what was your favorite book of all time? You started to say, or you did say?
Was Thunder of Heaven.
Thunder of Heaven.
I don't even know. I know what the book looks like. It's rat tatty. I read it a lot. And then 5 People You Meet in Heaven.
Yeah.
And probably since I've read this year, I had The Wager. I also write down. I always write back. I like that one. And then First Lie Wins was pretty good. It sounded like a lot.
First Lie Wins.
By Ashley Elston. That one was pretty good. She
That's in my. I'm waiting for that one to come in.
It's pretty good. It has a good twist at the end. I didn't see it coming that way, but it's pretty good. Yeah.
Who wrote it?
Ashley Elston.
I'm sure that's on my.
Yeah.
On
First Lie Wins.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I like the suspenseful. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the book that after you're done reading it, that the rest of the day it's like, I can't start another book because I have to keep processing.
Yeah. And it's not really, I wouldn't say it's really suspense, whatever. It's about, it's a con artist, essentially. But you know that from the very beginning, what she does. But it's pretty good. But it's a good twist at the end. But, and I like it how they always, at the very end, it puts all the pieces together. You know, how people came into play and why you even still talk, why did that person come up? You know, it was good though. I liked it.
I have one in my to be read pile right now that I'm intrigued about. I can't think of the name. It's something like Blackbird and Beauty or Blackbird and Pearls or I'll think of it. We'll put the picture of it right here. But same thing. It's that same thing where one. My two book talk people that I watch, they both did it. I don't know why they mirror each other, but they both did it as a book of the month, and one loved it, one hated it. And I thought, and they are reversed. So the one that loved September House did not like this book. The one that did not like September House loved this book. And I was, okay, I've got to read it.
We need to know about their book club. What are they going to? What's their average age? It makes you wonder. Because that's what my thing when I read September. That was my wonder.
Yeah. Would we have the same thing in common?
Right. Well, they're relatable. I still have kids at home. I have young kids. I have adult kids. You know, I think that definitely plays in a game of what you're reading.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This book is apparently about two married serial killers.
Awesome. I would read that.
I know. And then there's some weird twist or something.
Because I read You Shouldn't Be Here, I think was what it was called.
I love that book.
That one was really good. And
that was so good. That was so good. It was one of those that you just had to stop at that part of the book and go, what?
Yeah.
So good. You Shouldn't Be Here.
You Shouldn't Be Here.
So good.
Such a good one. Definitely, it definitely got you. You were on this like, this is like predictable. I got this, but
my gosh.
I'm just gonna finish it out and then bam. It's like, wait, what?
She got you.
Then you had to go back a little bit. It's like, what did I miss? That one was a really good one too.
That was really good. Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny that we've read a lot of the same ones because I don't know that I necessarily recommend. I think sometimes I do.
And sometimes, and it's just weird things what I search. Sometimes because I know Libby will say, and these are the ones that are the top out of this. So sometimes I just pick weird random things too, because I don't know if I have. I mean, I know what I enjoy to read just because I need to keep busy and I get bored doing dishes and fold laundry. But sometimes like, let's just try something different. So I'll search something different or click into a different category. Like, that looks good. You know? So I don't know. Because again, I don't know really who my go-to people are. Because I am on a kick on Sarah J. Maas stuff, but again, it's one of those things. I enjoy series. It keeps me, I don't have to think about what my next read's going to be. I can just follow these characters for 5 or 6 books and we're good to go.
Yeah.
But if I want to shake it away, something random. We'll do that one.
Yeah.
Or you never know what I see online. Like, that seems interesting. Whether it's, from an Oprah book club or Reese Witherspoon's book club. And it's,
I read something from Reese Witherspoon's book club. I can't remember. And I didn't even know that was what it was until I was into it and it was good. But yeah. All right. Well, tell us what you're reading. Put in the comments. Tell us what you're reading. Tell us what you like to read, and let's just kind of see. And I don't know how to do we've talked about this before about doing like an online book club and all of us reading the same one and then talking about it. But
I have no idea how.
But
how to do that.
Yeah, we should do because it's kind of funny because Lori and I and Allie will go back and forth and it's fun to kind of talk about it and get a whole different perspective on a book.
Right.
There was one that I just read, Midnight is the Darkest Hour. It's the one that I finished it just before Sometimes I Lie. This is a good book. This was all kinds of weird stuff going on in it, but it was good. But prior to that, Midnight is the Darkest Hour. And it's kind of funny because it was one of those things that I wondered if it's really like that. And it was about these Southern, this religious family. And it was kind of like Preacher's Daughter and the Devil's Son, you know, and this whole thing. And I'm sure it was also an Alice Feeney. I'm sure it was, because it was another one that at the end it's like, wait, what just happened? Because you could kind of end it however you wanted to, because it ended so, you know,
sure.
It was just another kind of a weird ending. But anyway, that's a book that I would love to read in book club, because I would want to know if Southern Baptists, if that's really how it is down there, because it's not how it is up here in the North. And so, so I had a lot of questions about, you know, regional reference and if it's really like that. So, anyway, so if we could figure out how to do a book club, I think it might be kind of fun to figure that out, because I know here we like it. Oftentimes we kind of all read the same ones a little bit. I mean, you know, but anyway.
Yeah, super fun.
All right, well, tell us what you're reading.
Yeah, we want to know.
Give us some suggestions now that you know what we like and what we don't like.
I'm still trying to figure out what I like. I don't know.
That's good, though. That's good that you're not stuck in a rut.
No, and I feel like I am from suspense to, you know, average day to, you know.
Comedy.
Yeah, comedy. I enjoy to laugh. It drives Robert crazy. What are you
laughing at?
Nothing, doesn't matter. He wouldn't get it.
Have you read Yours Truly? Did I tell you about that one? That Abby Jimenez?
I've read that one.
Oh gosh, it was good. It's kind of funny because it's kind of more of a rom-com a little bit. But she was funny.
Was it good?
Funny. I laughed out loud a lot on that book. It was a good book. It was really, I felt like I could really relate to the main character, but a couple of doctors.
I was trying to read, it was called The Cake Eater. It was
I feel like
about Marie Antoinette. But it was a modern day take on it. I didn't like it. Like, it was definitely not how I would portray
Marie
her.
Antoinette.
And I felt like...
And you kind of know how it ends, right?
Right. Yeah, I know how it ends. So, there's that. So, I felt like, it's like, that's not how... I wouldn't think she's just, ditzy boy crazy. Like, so I stopped reading that one. Because I felt like that is not how I see her. Even in... If she was, it's kind of like a fiction form, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a modern day Romeo Juliet kind of a thing. But that's when I stopped reading, because I didn't think the writing was very good, and I feel like that's not how I would connect her.
Yeah.
You know, knowing the story and watching films and all of that, I've got a pretty good image of how even modern day she would be, and I didn't like that one.
I think that's why I tend to know which authors I like, because I like their writing. You know, that, you know, if you're, because I watched, you know, book talkers say, oh, well, the first part of the book was really good, and then it was really boring, and then it got good again. It's like, no. No. You know, I want you to...
Keep me all the way through it.
I love a good
Let's
author
just commit to it. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. All right, friends.
All right. Tell us what to read next.
Yeah. Tell us what to read.
Yeah. Let us know. What do we got to know?
Tell us in the comments. Tell us your favorite book. Tell us your favorite book of all time. And then tell us your favorite read of 2023.
Yeah. Book of all times. Because I think it'll be a lot
Mine is The Red Tent. Best book of 2023 was The Nightingale. And what was yours? Best book of all time? Heavens.
5 People Meet in Heaven.
Yeah.
I know, Thunder of Heaven.
Thunder of Heaven.
The Thunder of Heaven is a really old title. 5 People Meet in Heaven you can find probably in Libby, probably. Those are probably my top 2 favorite books of all times. Of 2023, gosh, that's hard. Something I would read again. I don't know, it's between The Wager and I Will Always Write Back. Probably The Wager.
Okay, well then I guess I'm going to have to read The Wager. And I like historical fiction. I like that kind of stuff.
And again, one of those things I probably would not have read it listening to it. It was.
Did somebody
entertaining.
suggest it to you?
I was at the bookstore shopping for Eliza and found this book. And I actually bought it for Greg Thomas for Christmas. Because he's into all of that and shipwrecks and all of that whole thing. And I was intrigued. So I decided to read it. I don't know.
That's my favorite place in an airport is the bookstore. I go in and then it's like, ooh, let me look at this. And I'm always drawn to the cover.
Yep.
Look at the cover. And then I'll read a little bit and it's like, you know. And then I think about the size of the book. I mean, you know, knowing that, okay,
How
this
long
is the entire vacation, you know, or whatever.
The book thief's really good too. If you have a young reader. That's
the book thief
one.
should be on everybody's I mean, there's a couple. I
that
think most
be
of these
is book thief.
Yeah. Okay, maybe
For
not
sure.
the Sometimes I Lie, but those others, I think everybody should read those. And I Will Always Write Back.
Yeah. I think the series I have purchased, I bought all of Sarah J. Maas's series.
What did they call them? The ACOTAR?
Just
I think they call them ACOTAR because it's like Thunder of Roses. And if you do the acronym for all of the books, I think that's why they call them that. And I just have to tell you, the only reason that I have not read those is because everyone reads them.
Everyone reads
Everyone has read them.
I liked it.
You tell me what it's about.
definitely not your thing.
My thing.
It's definitely a fantasy romance.
I'm not the princess and the handsome
I don't
prince
think you
on
would
their white horse.
I don't think you would enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
and
not
I
my
love
thing.
it that it's a very strong woman thing. And some people don't take it that way, but I like that she's tough and she, you know, right, wrong. No,
yeah,
that works for me. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoy all the books.
Everybody loves that series.
Sarah J. Maas is quite a thing.
Lori has read them and said that they were great, and everybody else.
A really good read. I've also bought a new dictionary because it's doing so much reading. But you know what I get stuck on is because I think I called you
a hardback dictionary.
A real old dictionary. I thought I had one. I was pretty sure I had one in college, but I couldn't find one, so I actually bought one because there's things that I come across even when they're narrating, and it's like in the past tense, but we're in present. And I'm thinking, well, why are you saying it like that?
It's hanged. Or what was that
instead
word?
of hung.
I know, it's like, no. You can say
and
that.
I think it was when I was reading The Wager. And then Mom's like, no, it's regional.
It's a thing.
And so there's different things I look up. It's like, wait, why are you trying? That's not the right word. At least I don't think it's the right word. And it's like, no, it's the right word.
Yeah. So. Yeah. There was something, too. There's something, the UK readers, that there's something that they say that's so different. And it's not like insurmountable or something. There's something that they put the whole emphasis on a whole different syllable. It's like, wait, what word are you saying? It's like, that's not how you say that word. And there's a couple of them that there are words that they say are unscrupulous, or there's a couple of words that you wouldn't recognize it unless you saw it in print, and it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why
so that's sometimes, I was like, where are you getting that? I was like, well, they said something that doesn't make sense.
What word are you trying to say?
And so and so I've done that. And Wyatt thinks dictionary is really cool.
Fun.
He'll say some random word. That's not a real word. But,
Scrabble. Scrabble.
Yeah, and then we look it up and, that's cool. Okay. And then we look up, and the whole thesaurus thing. Because I have a thesaurus, so he thinks that's pretty cool. Other ways to say,
Other ways to say the same word.
So Wyatt thinks that's pretty cool.
We should have Tracy. I know what Tracy's reading. I just asked you this morning. You haven't finished it yet. Come and tell them. Don't make me sit next to you. Here, come and sit with us.
Okay. I'm reading nonfiction, Viola Davis, Finding Me. And it's really good, but you have to keep in mind at the beginning she talks a little bit like Samuel L. Jackson.
A little rough.
But oh my gosh, it's crazy good. And
it's her autobiography.
It's her autobiography.
Yeah. She has an incredible story.
It's incredible. And I found that I look back on my own voice growing up saying things like, well, if you're poor, can't you just still afford to buy a bar of soap? And,
Sure.
I don't know. And I've heard talked to other people about this book, and they've said the same thing. And now I think, what a really cruel thing to say, because first you have to have water. You have to have that extra money. It has to be a priority. And if you're not trained or taught, and I think, gosh, I was so cruel to even think that.
And sometimes their clothes aren't clean.
Right.
It might be that they're clean, but if they don't have
there's no way
laundry,
to wash their clothing, and it's really intense. It's good. She's a remarkable woman. Talk about a strong woman, and rising from just unimaginable poverty.
Wow.
And just growing into such a stunning actress, and intelligent, and just really good, really good. You just have to get past all of the profanity, but it's really, it's her. It's you know, and that's what it's all about. So,
Well, good.
almost done with it. So
Good. Awesome. Good.
makes me cry. I listen to it in the morning before you guys get here, and I'll be in tears, sobbing over it. It's such a good story.
All right, so there's another one. I do have that on my list too, but I think that is one of those that you have to be prepared to listen to something like that, you know.
Heart-wrenching and tears, and because it's different. Reading it, whether it's historical or in your, you know, a biography thing, it actually did happen to somebody. Yeah. All right, girls.
Nice chatting. We'll see you tonight for box opening.
Bye.
Okay, let me...
Thank you for watching our video. We invite you to leave a comment, hit the like button, or better yet, subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. You can also visit our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or Pinterest pages, or find all of those things and our online store at FabricPatch.net.
Hi. She sees the camera.
Should we tell the story?
No, you're not going to tell a story?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ew.
Is there a picture on there? Tell them.
Ooh.
Daisy. You tell them a story?
Hi. Hi.
Hi. Can you blow a kiss?
Can you blow a kiss?
Nah.
Hi.
Blow a kiss?
Go.
Mwah.
You just
Say bye. 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 Bye.
Yeah.